Welcome, Titan Upload Live Special Edition, late night, 9:45, well, now 9:50. Thank you for sticking around and being here. This is just crazy. It's insane. We've been on Clowney watch since the beginning of this whole sickness thing that took place. It's just insane because it's like we've had Ken Moore on the show. There's been a lot of rumors. We go all the way back to the Seattle guy who supposedly said he's signing and all this stuff to the Seahawks. We've seen the Browns come. We've seen the Raiders show up. We've seen reports of the Steelers and Ravens over the last couple weeks. And then we've seen the Cowboys. We've seen the Saints. We've seen the Titans. It's just a free-for-all right now. And everything's going crazy. Now, hey, what's up, Billy Scott? Now, what I would say is this. A couple things. The longer this drags on for us in the next 24 hours, the better. Because there was a lot of heat with the Saints about 3 hours ago. I mean, a lot of heat. There was a Saints media guy who has about 13,000 followers. I know it's not a whole lot, but what makes this interesting, I'll get right into it. Let's dive into it. First of all, was this a sign? You know what I mean? This came out in May, and Clowney said, he was eyeing both the Saints and the Cowboys. And if you remember, not a lot of people are talking about this right now, but Clowney came out supposedly in May, and his agent. And we thought it was a ploy because, number one, we didn't think the Cowboys were that interested. And number two, we thought the Saints just didn't have enough cap room. We're still not sure how a $7 million cap room is going to get this thing done. Supposedly, they're going to restructure and all this kind of stuff. I mean, it doesn't stop the Kansas City Chiefs. So why would it all of a sudden, stop the Saints, right? So, but this is kind of one of those hidden gems that was a while ago. And again, not much brought to it. So this one is actually from June 29th, but there was ones earlier than that, I believe, where he listed his top two teams. I remember doing a show on this, Saints, Cowboys. And did he want to play for the Saints if he signs with the Saints, did he just try to get as much out of them? Is that the reason why we've taken so long? We will definitely get to your comments. I promise you that we'll actually do a lot of your comments because there's really not a whole lot of information. So let's dive a little further into this. So today, all this stuff broke. We had the fake Adam Schefter. He just posted about 9:08. I don't know if he got you guys or not, but when I was going live and getting ready for the show, he definitely caught my eye. So, but again, Rossini is the one where you pay closer attention to. She does have ties to Vrabel. She seems to have ties to the Titans. She seems to break Titan news more regularly, even though some of it's hit or miss. But she has been pretty consistent. I will give her that. A lot, Ian Rappaport, some of these other guys, I mean, they'll get to the party. They'll eventually. Interesting to me is because earlier on in the day, before this broke, before Rossini broke, before all these Ian Rappaport broke, he posted something about the Saints working out with a deal with Clowney. So then all of a sudden we get a lot of heat with the Saints, and then there we go. Then we start to see these Twitter things pop up throughout the day. I'll be honest with you. It's real, or you just know there's a lot of heat to this situation, a lot of smoke. And it's because of the fact that, and I'm going to go ahead and say something about Titans Twitter, but some of these guys will mock the heck out of you guys. I mean, if you bring up Clowney, they mock you. They think it's all fun and games. I'm telling you, even these guys who have consistently mocked fans about Clowney and where's he going, and, you bring Ken Moore on the show and they got a really, interesting comment, so to speak, about Ken Moore, and they don't know his story at all. That's why I loved Ken Moore coming on the show. I mean, he's a great dude. If you look at from the Houston side, we can get into this too. He's from Houston. Ken Moore's from Houston, by the way. But there's a lot of Houston stuff going on, the connection to New Orleans. Is it closer? Is it going to be a location thing? But if you think about it, I don't really know. I don't think any of us really know at this point. I think we all just assumed it was going to happen one day. And yes, Rossini throws out the Jaguars later on in the day. And I thought that, or later on, when everything was getting worked up, she throws out the Jaguars, which I thought is quite comical. I don't know. You knew this was going to come, right? Even Derek. I got Derek on there. He's in the house. You guys can ask Derek. He has a friend. He tweeted this at me at 7:44 Central Time, would be 8:44 his time. Said he has a friend who says that he's involved within the Saints, saying it's going to happen in the next few days. I'm telling you, I thought if it was going to break, it'd be tonight. So that gives me a little bit more hope, being a Titans fan, that this drags on a little bit longer, then we're going to be able to make some noise. So again, if you just kind of tuning in here, a lot going on with Clowney. Like really, like there's just so much smoke going on. Do you buy it? Do you not buy it? I don't know. Again, a lot of these Titan guys, these Titan core guys, I won't mention their names. Just I don't want to mention their names, but a lot of these guys, again, they have their opinion on Clowney. They just don't really care what we have to say as fans. But they're getting worked up tonight, and I tweeted that because they are. They're getting worked up. They're getting nervous, and I was getting nervous too. I don't know if you guys were getting nervous either. I really thought this was going to be a possibility tonight. He was going to the Saints, like literally. You knew it was going to happen though. He was going to come out of nowhere and just sign. But 1 year, $10 million. How would you feel? And now I'm going to get to your comments. How would you guys feel? So the latest report that we know is just he is mulling offers between the Titans and the Saints. I mean, that's what we've been told. Now, apparently you guys have you've tweeted at me, Taylor Lewan, Will Compton have joined the party, busing the boys. They should just bring the bus to Clowney. I mean, Vrabel, give the guys a night off practice. Let those two get in the bus. Houston, let's pick Clowney up. Let's bring him back. What's taking so long, though? That's the question I pose to you guys. Like, if you're buying the story that the Titans are all in now and then the Saints are, can I ask you guys, like, why now? Like, we've been following this story all basically off season. Why now all of a sudden? You know, a week before the season, now the Titans are all in. Yeah, Billy makes a good point. They don't have any money. They have like $7 million in cap, and I think that's stretching it. Sure, you can make deals, you know, but my gosh, the Titans got 24. And here's one more thing before I get to your comments. It gets me all fired up, okay? Where are these cap people now? You know, I see the same people that post stuff all over Twitter about, you know, we can't take Clowney because we're going to save this cap room. We're going to roll it over for next year. And then we're going to sign all these guys that we have on our roster like Jayon Brown and Adoree Jackson. We're going to use that money. We're going to keep the core together. My argument's always been, take a shot. My gosh, what are you waiting for? Your Super Bowl window is about the next 4 years. Sadly, the Kansas City Chiefs window is probably longer than that. But my goodness, you got a shot to go after it. Go now. And I apologize. Some of you get mad at me apparently for, I had some nice words said to me today from some of these groups that you guys follow, I know, and I do too. But they were basically saying that, you know, I talk too much about Wyatt Ray. But my gosh, like, if you guys are living under a rock and you think Wyatt Ray is going to come save the day, I don't know. You know, I know some of you say James Harrison, but, you know, I always come back to that as, yeah, people win the lottery too. You know what I mean? The guy has played with 4 teams and hasn't played one game. If you can go out and get Clowney, go get him. What are you waiting for? Just do it. So if it's $15 million, it's $15 million. The way I see it, if it's a 1-year deal like everybody's predicting, that comes off. So you have that to spend towards Adoree Jackson, to Jayon Brown. You can do whatever you want with that money. Let's get to your comments before I explode and be done here with the show completely. Like, he wanted to play. And one of the questions I always kind of posed to you guys was, why didn't he opt out if he doesn't want to play? Or was he just waiting? You know, if you guys believe the reports, there's so much out there. But if you believe the reports, the Browns offered $18 million. There's been reports that the Browns have offered 3 years, maybe up to $17, $18 million per year. And he still turned that down. I know you're saying, why go to the Browns? Why go? But again, that's a lot of money. And if it's about him, which Vrabel makes his next point, selfish individual only care about the money. You know, I don't know. I don't know what to explain. Like, we got to assume that Vrabel wants Clowney, right? I mean, that's never really come out. Paul Kaharski, all these guys ask Vrabel, do you want, like, the latest? I don't think they do it very much anymore, but they ask him a lot about Clowney, and you could tell Vrabel's exhausted with it. So I don't know what to believe anymore. So if you guys find anything out, let me know. James says, sounds like he doesn't want to come. I don't know if he doesn't want to come here, James. I don't know where he wants to go, and I think it's just all the perfect opportunity. I know I've read some tweets about maybe what system he wants to run. I've heard other people come out and say, well, he only gives you 3 sacks. But I'm telling you, he's a game changer. You have to plan for him. I mean, Derek, he's a Colts guy. I'll be honest with you. I don't know who Derek fears on the Titans offense besides Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, and Ryan Tannehill. And then on the other side of the ball, I don't know who he fears other than maybe Byard, if he fears even Byard. So my point is, like, there are not a lot of guys on this Titan. We are a team first team, and I love this team. And I think this team's still going 10-6 or possibly 11-5, hopefully not 9-7. But I still think this team's really good. I'm just saying, why not go all in right now? I mean, you're going in for a season with Clowney. Who knows? Maybe he loves it here and you can re-sign him. Something the Raptors couldn't do with Kawhi, for example. They tried the same thing. It got him a championship, didn't it? I mean, nobody's looking at the Raptors and be like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? We could have rolled over that cap room or whatever. No. So again, these guys with the cap room, they're not, I mean, they're all on Clowney as well right now. And I want to comment, but I'll just walk away or whatever. But it's frustrating. They come after us. They start saying about the cap room and it rolls over, which fine, I get it. But don't change your mind now. Don't change your mind now that everybody's getting worked up on this. All right, Derek says Clowney's still overrated, even though I wanted him before. He's actually going to walk into camp, earn a spot. Okay, off his name. You're right. I mean, he is. Let's be honest. But I still think the teams are going to have to plan for him. I think the Colts play the Titans. The Colts are going to have to plan for him. And that's very, very important. We got Mitchell. We need a difference maker, D-line. Losing Casey hurts big time. And again, I would love to have a Javon Curse back. We know Clowney's not Javon Curse, but he still can change the game. And again, that's my point. He can help with the pass rush, but he also can help with the rush, stop the running game. And, the Colts with Taylor, the Texans, bringing in David Johnson. That's the counselor's guy, right? David Johnson's supposed to have a big year according to Fantasy Football Counselor. By the way, Fan to Fan Network, definitely check us out on YouTube. Just a little ploy there because I went off on the kicker on Sunday about that and it happened today. So whatever. But again, the point I'm trying to make is I think we need him, and we do. We don't know what's going on with Beasley. So you can't say like we're going in the season with Correa. We're going in the season with Landry. I love those guys, but you need a solid core. Ask the Giants. A lot of teams have solid pass rushers, and that was the one area we needed to improve. I know it's like I keep a broken record. I keep saying it, but you got the guy right here. I even got a thumbs down for that, so I appreciate that. City, the Dragon says that Snacks. I would love Snacks. I don't know what's going on with him. I haven't heard much from Snacks. If any of you guys have, let me know. B. Woodall said just in time to start thinking about this nonstop. Yeah, but it's not going to happen this year, right? Star in the house. What's going on, Star? We could get Snacks and the guy out of the Vikings if we don't get Clowney. I think Griffin's already signed with the Cowboys, and they got him for $6 million. So I'd be very frustrated to miss out on Griffin and Clowney for a total of both guys for $16 million. It doesn't seem very fair. Jesse says he needs to pick tomorrow so he can be on the field by Monday. And that's the thing. That's the rush right now, right? That's why everybody's getting really worked up because we think it's time. That's not misleading with the show today. I think it is the final hour. I think it is coming down. Let's see. Started already. I'm sorry, guys. You guys were already in the house. Let's keep it going. So yeah, here I am. Let's go. So let's see. Vrabel says Saints Insider. Yes. So we got to that. The Saints Insider, $10 million. Stephanie Perkins in here. It is crazy. It's been going on and on and on all afternoon. Titans in Truth, man. Sorry I've been missing the shows lately, but keep up the great work. I'm still monitoring your work, and obviously you're doing well, doing a very good job, so keep it up, Titans in Truth. C-Dub says we probably won't get him. I'm used to the big, and you make a great point, C-Dub, because this whole Manning thing, I wish I had YouTube back then, but when Manning went to bed, I always remember, I know a lot of you don't like Clay Travis, and I know he's hit or miss for myself as well, but this was an opportunity. Clay Travis, I remember 104.5 The Zone said his sources told him Manning is going to sign with the Titans. Manning goes to bed, wakes up, decides, I want to sign with the Broncos. Probably a good decision, though. Just from what I'm hearing out of Munchak's locker room, it wasn't the greatest. That's what I've heard. Mr. Titans found a lot out about that. Then we also have, moving forward, Sue. Sue was the big one that I really started to get upset with because Sue's options were the Saints, the Rams, and the Titans. Now, the Saints, they didn't have any cap room, so I didn't really think of them. But the Rams did have a little bit, and, they had McVay, and he chose the Rams over us. And I remember how that went down. You check Twitter over and over and over, and then all of a sudden there's just this crazy source that you've never heard of, And then a couple minutes later, boom, there it is. So I was getting really scared today about that. There's probably been plenty more Titans, I know we've heard Brady, but I don't think that was ever a real thing. Like I mentioned before, I'm pretty sure Brady was zoned in on the Bucs all along, not the Titans. I think the Titans were just being used in that situation. And I don't think that bothered the Titans because they got to use it to their advantage with Tannehill. Evil Duck, what's going on? Good to see you, man. It says, why would Clowney go to the Saints just to lose to the Vikings in the playoffs? Well, that's the thing. From what we've heard is the Saints have a lot of primetime games. It would give him more sense to get more nationally known. We all know the Saints are more nationally televised, more nationally talked about than us. But if you're coming to the Titans, and that's why we'll reference the Lawan and Compton here, because when you come to the Titans, it is playing for the boys, right? I mean, that's the team motto. That's what it's a team first atmosphere. They do all sorts of stuff for the team. So if he comes, he better be sold. And we don't know if Beasley's sold yet, right? We don't know what that's going to bring. He was supposedly going to work out today with Vrabel on the side, which I guess is good. But guys, the season's right around the corner. We're playing Denver. I don't know who's getting to the quarterback if Landry can't. I know that Correa's going to do his job, but I don't know who else we got on the team. Thankfully, I know some of you came at me with some heat over the video with Roberson, but I think Roberson, that loss would have been huge for us. I mean, we're actually counting on Roberson and Walker to be our big replacements for the defensive line right now. No, I'm not going to count Wyatt Ray and Davis from Miami because those guys, haven't even been on the field, and neither is Walker. But at least with Walker, he was with the system last year, even though he's hurt. And I think we feel like he might be able to do some things for the Titans. So we're kind of excited about that. Those other two guys, I wish them well. If they make the team, great. But I don't want to bank my Super Bowl season on them. You know what I mean? So Braden says we're forgetting that Jonathan Joseph. That is true, Jonathan Joseph. But there are a lot of other players too. When you get a call from Drew Brees or Jonathan Joseph, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know how he feels about Thomas. I don't know how he feels about, some of these other people. Kamara, he's been on the trade block supposedly now. Are you guys buying that at all? So it is very interesting. Maybe, just maybe it's Jameis Winston that gets it done, right? Is Jameis Winston on the phone with him? Who knows? You don't know who the connections are. You don't know who the real solid friends are. Jonathan Joseph, we know. So let's have some faith in him and let's hope it works. Let's just hope that J-Rob makes the call, right? I think we're all hoping J-Rob does. Kenny Coons, how are the Saints in the Clowney sweepstakes with $4 million? That's a good question. I wish I had an answer for you. There's been talks about them restructuring, but again, at the end of the day, it's just like the Chiefs. You never would have thought in a million years. There's always certain things you can do. Floyd Reese, it would have been awesome to bring him on the show tonight. Floyd Reese really knows how to work the cap, and he explains it pretty well. So there's always a will, there's a way, there's different ways you can get where you need to go. And honestly, it's frustrating as heck because you count teams out because they have no cap and then they just pop up out of nowhere. But again, if the Titans are serious about bringing them in, money should not be the reason why we don't get them, right? If we lose out to 1 year, $10 million, then that tells you exactly what you need to know what's coming from the Titans. They don't value them that well. Jesse, I just want to go ahead and be disappointed. Yeah, I'm sorry I almost disappointed you too by being late today, man. I really do apologize. All serious. But yeah, I want it to be done with. I want to focus on Denver. But I'll be honest with you, tonight was the first night where I really thought he was going to sign somewhere, and it wasn't the Titans. It was the Saints. So I was holding my breath. I'm still holding my breath. I know Derek has already mentioned he has a friend in the Saints group that thinks he's going to sign by Monday. But we've heard that story before. We've heard it with the Titans. We've heard it with the Saints now. We've heard it multiple times where people thought he was going to sign one day and sign another day. So unless it's happening right before us and I see it on the screen, I'm not going to believe it. I will knock on wood right now so I didn't just curse that. Jeff Champion said, what's your thoughts on the Browns taking all of the safeties? Yeah, the Jaguars made another trade today. That's why it's shocking that tells me that's coming from Clowney's camp about the Jaguars. I'm just being honest. He's trying to get as many people in on this thing to drive the price up. But we know, which I get frustrated with, but we know that John Robinson plays it by the book. If we get Clowney, It's not going to overspend. You can look at him. You can say, dude, like, what were you thinking with Beasley? But if you really think about it, Beasley was a top pick. Beasley did show some promise. 1 year, he had 15 and a half sacks. And when you have Vrabel as a head coach, and that's like his forte, you got to take that shot. And they did. They went after him. It didn't work so far. We still have faith it's going to. At least he's at camp. But I don't know when that situation is going to eventually happen. And, we just heard that Wilson may not play the whole year now. That's frustrating because, again, when you draft a guy in the first round, I know some people don't care about that, but I do. Even Simmons was able to make a play, and you can't compare quarterbacks, right? So people are comparing Mahomes. They had Alex Smith. Now, if we had a right tackle, let's say Jack Conklin still had 1 year left, that's fine. But we don't. We have Dennis Kelly, and he's serviceable. He'll do his job. But I don't know if that guy holds up the whole season. I'm hopeful, but I just don't know. Titans torch in the house. It says Saints signing Clowney this year has no effect on the Saints and Kamara. It's a 1 year deal. Kamara. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I think, when you're looking at contracts, but maybe they're looking at the rollover money. I mean, that's what they tell us as Titan fans. Hey, Titans are just doing the rollover stuff. So who knows? There's all sorts of different avenues. Far Sender, what's going on, man? Good to see you. I appreciate all the stuff you do, man. Keep it up. I hope you get those Madden codes, man. I really do. If I get one, I'll definitely send it your way. Again, personally, it depends. I don't know if they're all in on him, though, right? Like, we've never heard Vrabel say over and over, like, demanding that he wants him. They kind of always tiptoe around it. J-Rob always tiptoes around, like he mentions it, but he'll say, he doesn't say anything specific about it. He said, yeah, maybe we're monitoring the situation. So again, like if they don't give more than 10 million, I don't know if it's a shot necessarily at J-Rob, because honestly, I don't think he really wanted him. Honestly, if you're going to give Beasley 9.5, okay, and incentives to make 12 and give him a $6 million signing bonus on 1 year, why wouldn't you give Clowney at least 10 if you think he's healthy? Now, you guys have mentioned there were reports the Titans wanted him in. They wanted him in so they could do a physical on him. Is that what the holdup is? You know what? I think if you bring him in, you agree to something, the physical flops. You don't have to worry about it anyways, right? That's what happened with this special teamer we got from the Miami Dolphins. He came in, something with the physical, we let him go. That was the end of the story. So I think there are ways around it. Octavius says Clowney will get 3 sacks. He's a game changer because I think he will do more than just the sack thing. Yeah, you want him to get more sacks, and I'm not going to argue about that. That's a great point. But I think at the end of the day, with this defense, he might get Landry more sacks. He might help Simmons out. Simmons might help him out. Landry might help him out. Correa might get a few more sacks out of it. It might help free up Evans a little bit more. It might actually put pressure on the quarterback, so maybe he doesn't get a sack, but he's running around after him. If Clowney wants to win, Clowney wants to play, that dude is super athletic. I don't think anybody can argue that. It's just getting him motivated. And this brings me to another point. Did you guys ever think about Vrabel for a second? Like, do you think that maybe he doesn't want to work as much because he knows Vrabel's going to make him work? Like, I thought of that today as well because you know what I mean. Sean Payton. Who's going to push you further? Sean Payton? Or is he going to push, is Vrabel going to push you more? Well, we know Vrabel's a defensive guy. Vrabel's going to be hands-on. He's going to be practicing with you. Sean Payton, let's be honest, he's going to be focused more on the offense. So when you look at it from that point of view, I think the Saints are going to allow him to do his thing, where I think the Titans, you got to fit into the team scenario. That's what J-Rob's all about. You got team first. So if you can do that, great. If you can't, maybe he's thinking, well, I don't know if I want to go down to Nashville and actually go back to my Vrabel days. But Vrabel got him something that he hasn't had before. And I think Vrabel got him 9.5 sacks. And he's never been a double-digit sack guy. But on the other end, he's never had that good of a performance either. But under Vrabel, he did. So if he's worried about the money, he's worried about the long-term contract, maybe he does go to Tennessee. We got Sin City Titan in the house. What's going on? Clowney going to go to the Saints. Yeah, that's what it looked like earlier. I'm still not 100% sold, obviously, but I don't know about the Titans. I really don't. Titans and Drew said it might be wrong, but maybe we're comfortable assuming we had him, and then in desperation, and that's a good point too, Titans and Truth. Maybe we just kind of figured it out and we thought, well, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And maybe they were communicating, the agent was, and then another team. I remember many, many times. I mean, we've talked about this. eBay. I always compared it to eBay. You know, nobody's interested in the beginning, but once that time gets closer, then everybody comes out of everywhere. And maybe that's happening. Jaguars now, they're a new team. I've never heard of them. The Saints, it's the first time I heard of them being officially like going after him. We've always heard the Titans are monitoring the situation. But, you know, maybe that's the smart way to play. Jack, what's going on, man? How's it going? Shout out to the Juice, Bring the Juice podcast as well from the Colts. They ended up with 3K today. So shout out to them. Those guys work real hard. They deserve it. Shout out again to Titans of Truth for being here. So thank you, man, for apparently we're going on with Mr. Titan, and we are going to be talking about the game against the Broncos on next Monday night. So that should be fun. And right now we'll probably be in the end of the first quarter. The game will just be kind of getting going. So it's just exciting, isn't it? Next Monday night at this time. Pretty crazy. All right. Still trying to get to some of your comments. Again, if you're just kind of joining, it's just a late show just to get us on here to talk because I've been fuming. I mean, I'm looking at my thing. We got 217 people in the house. That's unbelievable. Thanks for being here. Just insane to talk about this topic. All the tweets that went on today, don't excuse the Adam Schefter fake tweet there. I just put that on for comical purposes. But we're seeing, again, pushing hard for Clowney. And then we see the Titans get thrown in there as well. And then we know Rossini threw the Jaguars. So I'm not sure what you guys are exactly buying or you're not buying on this one. But the one in the top right, that tweet, he's only got, 13,000 is kind of a big deal. But he doesn't have the blue check mark or anything. And he obviously does some stuff with the media there because of the pictures I seen. But when you look at that, you probably didn't give him much thought. But then when Rossini comes out an hour or two later and says, hey, the Saints are pushing hard, the Titans are there, then his comment comes out of was it just a shot in the dark? That's what we're wondering. And then he comes out with this at 7:33 Central Time and says, well, once again, a deal in the final stages. And he has not backed off on that. Now, people are giving him grief because it didn't happen to him right away. But he is not backing off on that. So that's something worth monitoring. Kind of reached out to some of you via Twitter and said, hey, listen, if this guy is accurate, then I would expect something would have broke tonight. You know, one of these analysts, some insider would have broke what he's reporting on. They haven't. So that gives me hope. And I said, the longer this kind of drags out in the next 24 hours, that will get us more in play. Then I can always think in the back of my mind, right? Like maybe the Titans maybe this is being used to get them to maybe pay a little bit more money. I think we always kind of assume that and think that. So again, I appreciate you guys being here on Titan Upload Live. If you're a new person, you haven't been to the show, we usually go live Sunday nights to talk Titans. It would be awesome if you guys would join and be a part of this thing. So definitely hit that subscribe button, tighten up the like button. We're at right now 59 likes. Like I said, 220 people in the house. That's pretty impressive. So we're going to go a little bit longer. I'm going to go towards the bottom here. If you guys have got any questions, comments, anything, you let me know. We got Fireval. He wants to sign Kamara. Let's see. C-Dub says there's a reason why we don't get national respect. Take this chance. Again, your two options, rollover cap. I would think snacks would be something we could do. I don't think we're going to bring in Sanu, the wide receiver. I've seen some people comment on that. I might go Mason Kinsey over him because I'm more... man, you got a guy who's being driven. He's definitely got the heart. Not saying that Batson doesn't, but I mean, Kinsey's fast, he's quick, and everything I've seen out of Kinsey, even though the media is not reporting this, but the clips and stuff that I see, I mean, he's not disappointing. So shout out to Mason Kinsey for sure. Let's see, we got Durkheim. Clowney says to get fined skipping the training camp. Maybe he didn't want to get fined. Who knows? Titans torch in the house. He didn't want to do training camp, so that's what a lot of you guys are saying. Braden says, I just trust in John. He's quiet. And this is a great point. This might be the basically the comment of the night. John Robinson gets things done silently. So Braden makes a seriously valid factual point. We probably won't know anything with the Titans until it comes out. One of the things I thought was interesting tonight when this Twitter storm was going on, and it was hard not to get swallowed up. So, you know, go ahead at home, raise your hand, right? Raise your hand if you were in the Twitter storm and you were consistently checking Twitter. I'll be honest, I was. But when I see John Robinson, I see him work. Again, going to the bathroom with the Rams GM at Indianapolis during the combine, and they were talking trading the first pick a few years ago. I thought that was comical, but that never came out until it actually happened. But when you look at, there was no report. Only one I saw was Corey Curtis, who came out with something. But you didn't see anybody really commenting on Clowney tonight. So from the Titans source point of view, they were all quiet. They might kind of chime in, but they weren't giving anything. So that tells me that J-Rob's still working on this. So that gives me some hope. Now, if you're a Saints fan, you can comment too and let me know why you're excited to get this excited and all that stuff. Hey, Bring the Juice, I do appreciate it. I really do. I appreciate all the stuff you do. So Fan to Fan Network, I mean, they got a gem in you guys. So, man, keep up the great work. But let's just, whatever. Saints, is he going to change the Saints all that much? Is he going to put the Saints to the Super Bowl? Some of you have commented on that. You got the Vikings, you got the Packers, you got the 49ers, you got a lot of good teams. Does somebody else swoop in here in the last 24 hours? I'm just up front, and I know it's hard to believe me because I don't know anything, but I would say this. My gut's telling me, okay, and I do got a little bit of a gut now, but my gut's telling me he's signing in the next 24 hours. We're not getting to Monday before he signs. So all these people are saying, hey, he's going to sign by Monday. No, I think he signs tomorrow. Now, usually good news doesn't come out on Friday, right? They wait for the bad news to come out Friday, so you forget about it over the weekend. But I'm telling you, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of heat on this story. I'm thinking maybe sometime tomorrow. Hopefully they wait until about 3 o'clock. But I think we're going to find out way more tomorrow. I think this thing's just heating up. And like I said, if we can get into tomorrow, I think as a Titans fan, I feel a little bit better that he's coming here. But I'm telling you, the storm is in the next hour or so. If we can get past that, I feel like we might be okay. Luan's tweets. Yes, Luan and Compton both were, and we kind of not mocked, but we had some fun with it. We said they should take the bus down to Houston to pick these guys up. King Isaac in the house. What's going on? I thought I saw Big O Titan in the house somewhere too. Johnny Mac says Titans need him, and Clowney knows he's going to squeeze every penny. You're right. And wouldn't you, though? Wouldn't you squeeze every penny? But we always hoped as Titan fans that he would want to come here. That was our hope. We always thought, well, maybe he would want to come here and be a part of this. And maybe he still does. Derek says Evans and Byard are the only defensive players I would fear in your team. Man, we are way behind. I got to scoot down. You guys are awesome. Ram, when would Clowney need to sign in order for him to play week 1? I think all reports are Monday. If he could pull something off by Monday, he can play. That's why they keep mentioning Monday. Lee says Titans got to get rid of Casey and Clowney. Now watch it backfire. It might. But remember, when it happened, I remember coming on the show and being a little upset about it. But, I was told and repetitively told, some of you in here, oh, he's not what he used to be. He's not what he used to be. And I get it, but I'm telling you, he's going to bring the fire next Monday night. Casey is going to bring the fire, and he's going to show you why he was voted in the top 100. I just hope we have enough to beat him. I do. I'm not really worried about him. Today he came out supposedly about him giving information. I'm not really worried about that, but third straight year the Titans have given a player or traded a player to a week 1 opponent. First it was Falk to the Dolphins. It was Vrabel's first year. Second year it was Taywan Taylor to the Browns. And then this year it's Jarrell Casey. Wow. Let's see. Jack is in the house. Both Taylor and Luan and Compton at Twitter. Yes, they did. We need as many people as we can. Clowney wants to Ravens red zone. I hope they're still in here, but if he says if they want to go to the Super Bowl, you're going to Baltimore apparently. Let's see. Crypto, not the Ravens. Yeah, good point. Ram says Clowney needs to be game plan. Casey isn't that disruptive, but Casey's going to bring it. Casey's the high motor guy. He's never going to give up on plays, and he's an ultimate leader. So I think we are going to miss something in Casey, even though I think a lot of us don't want to go that way. Bro, put Tannehill behind you. I got to. I got to get a Tannehill. But, I love Marcus, and I'll always love Marcus Hillbilly Brand. You know that. But I do need some Tannehill merchandise back there, and we'll get some. East Nashville in here. What's going on, Pistol Grip? Good to see you. Far Center says, do you think Jonathan Joseph can sway Clowney to the Titans and Vrabel being the old defensive coordinator? We hope he can. That we got into this a little bit earlier, even though I'm behind on the comments. Solomon, what's going on? I just think we don't know what the Titans, if they're all in on him, because if you're all in on someone, you're going to give over the money. But on the other end of it, we don't know if Clowney really wants to come play for Vrabel. Like, we don't know how close those two really are. We always heard about Vrabel and Brady, Vrabel and Brady. At the end, it didn't matter. And I don't think Brady was in the game plan for the Titans, to be honest with you. I think the only ploy with Brady was Brady already knew where he was going, to the Bucs. The Titans were just using that situation to get Tannehill talked down a little bit. But again, we don't know if Clowney and Vrabel are going to mesh. We don't know how that. We saw the Hard Knocks. Vrabel seems like he can be your friend, and that's fine. He's a player's coach. So maybe he would find a way. If anybody would, it'd be Vrabel. Vic Beasley 2.0 situation. You talking about, Anthony, you talking about Clowney, man? 2.0? Rams has heard the Jags are in the, you're right, they are in the running, believe it or not. Steve, what's going on, Mr. 2K? Clowney wouldn't sign with the Jags. I don't think so. If he does, it's just, watch the Jags give him $20 million. It wouldn't surprise me. Be interesting to see what UCF Jaguar thinks about that one. Daniel, he wants to win. Let's see. Titans Torch, I think the Saints can offer more because of the injury bounties. Oh, no. Let's see. Rams, Rosini, while the prices. Okay, yep. That is the quote that she said. Good call there. Let's see. Titans and Truth says Vrabel and J-Rob speak fluent Belichick. Does some talking but doesn't say anything. It's a great point. It's a great point, man. Mark 504 says he's going to sign with the Saints. Why sign with the Titans? Saints are more talented. Shots fired here on a Thursday night. Wow, Mark bringing the heat. Again, you know what? You can say what you want. We should have beat you guys for one at home, but at the other end of the story, I mean, it was a good game, but you didn't even get to see Derrick Henry, you know? And it was smart for us to keep him out because we didn't need to win that game. We needed to beat Houston. That was all that mattered. But, man, I'm telling you, I don't know where your cap money's coming from. So if you could tell me that, Mark 504, that would be awesome. Luke, what's going on? He says it's time to move on, man. I know I want to move on, but it's like Titans Nation is not ready to move on. And Luke, even the people that tell us they're moving on and they mock us for not moving on, they're still in here and they're still posting stuff on Clowney all night long once this all broke out. Everybody's sweating it now. I think everybody knows deep down they want him. They may not say that, but they want him. And they know, based on how this defense looks right now, you throw Clowney out there and he wants it. I mean, that might be a major difference for this team. I mean, how many wins, if I can ask you guys this, how many wins is Clowney worth to you? Do you think Clowney would get us another win? Do you think Clowney, is he not worth many wins? Because I think ultimately that is going to be the big question. Or is he worth a win in the playoffs? That totally changes things as well. Let's see what we got here. Pistol Grip in the house. Skiddly Bop says we aren't a big free agent destination. That's why we always miss on the big fish. We aren't. But at least now we do have Henry. Wouldn't you want to hear like Tannehill and Henry come out and say some stuff? I'd love to hear Byard come out and say some stuff tonight to try to recruit. I love the Jonathan Joseph connection, as you guys have mentioned. I love that Lawan and Compton. Of course, you got to realize it from their point of view. They probably also want Clowney on the show, and they want him on the bus. But again, they're team guys, so of course they're going to want him. Denver Cummings says, I'm sad that Clowney's leaving the Seahawks. I don't know if you follow Norbcan, but man, that guy's really cool, very talented out of Seattle. But it doesn't look like the Seahawks are going to bring him in anymore. And there's just so much noise now coming on for him. So we'll have to see. Let's see. James said, I remember when the team was called the Oilers. Yep. I was born in Houston, actually. So I remember the heartache of the Oilers. Let me tell you that. I mean, there were some really good days and there were some tough days down there. Don't sleep on Walker. Matthew, man, we're not sleeping on him. But I'm just telling you, going forward with the season, I just don't want to rely on all these guys. I'm just hoping that, again, if you bring Clowney in, you're not throwing these guys. And I know I'm hard on Wyatt Ray, and I shouldn't be, but you're not throwing those guys into the fire. You're going to let Vrabel keep working with these guys, right? Clowney should be able to go out and get it done. Landry should be able to. We know Correa can. Correa is one of those guys that I love because he's not like your super athletic, X Factor guy. He does what he's supposed to do. Go back and watch the playoff game. We mention this all the time on Titan Upload, how one of those first plays of the game versus the Chiefs, he made a sack on Mahomes because he did his stinking job. He didn't overcommit, and a lot of times on the other side, Landry, bless his heart, but Landry's like a high motor. Like, he swoops and he's going. And sometimes he does get sucked in way too much, and then they loop it around the edge. Doesn't happen with Correa. So you do need those team guys that, center around. They're going to play fundamental football, and that's what Correa does. But you also need someone like Clowney to come in and also try to disrupt and be a game changer, because he is athletic and the dude can take over a game if he wants to. Now, will he? That's a question for you guys to answer. The Bucks. I tell you what, I shouted this out earlier too. What's up, Philip Maddox? The Bucks. There have been people commenting like this isn't that big of a deal where Clowney's going. But I'm telling you, if Clowney, you wake up in the morning and he signs with the Bucks, it's going to be national news everywhere, and everybody's going to be fired up about it and be like, oh my goodness, the Bucks just got Clowney. That's why the media sometimes, you got to take them with a grain of salt. So it is what it is. But thanks again for being here. We're almost at 300 tonight talking Clowney. This is unbelievable. So Philip Maddox says, if we don't get Clowney, then I'm blaming Madden. Yes, I forgot about that. Or I'm sorry, not drafted, but free agent signings. So it showed them in their new uniforms and their new team. Well, Clowney was in there as well. So he was in a Titans uniform, not a Saints uniform, just to throw that out there to you. I'm trying to get to the bottom here. DeWitt is a Vikings fan. What are you thinking, man? You guys have done some good things down in Minnesota. I really like what you've done. We got Taylor Lewan in the house. Wouldn't be a show without Taylor Lewan. So awesome. Big Smoke, he says the Bucs will finish third in their division. I tell you what, if Brady gets hurt, it's on. It is on for sure. How much is Fournette going to do for them? Right now, he's like the third or fourth running back. And I know a lot of you are Nashville guys, so shout out to Nashville. And you follow Vanderbilt. But man, the Vanderbilt running back, he kind of, with Fournette going there, I know he does things that Fournette can't do. But that poor guy, he not only has Fournette now that's signed there, and he also has J.D. McCoy signed there. So I felt really bad because I thought we could have used them in the Titans. I know we got Evans, but Johnny Mac says Casey will be fires up. I agree. I think Casey's going to be good this year. I'm going to miss him, but we got to beat him. We got to beat him. Chris Alonso says Clowney gets the most double teams. That's a good point. A lot of people don't mention that. It doesn't show up in the stat sheet. That's why I love... I think he's going to work out well. Daquan Jones. I know he's not the most stat guy. He's never going to make Pro Bowls and do all this stuff, but he does his job. And I love having Titan guys that do that. But every now and then you need a game changer. And right now when I look at the defense, I see Kevin Byard. So what the quarterback does is they're just not going to throw at Byard. Okay. Anybody else? Simmons? Simmons has got to take a big step this year, and I think he can do it. I think Evans and Jayon Brown are great linebackers, but Dory Jackson, maybe he can step up and be that guy. But I'm telling you, you sign Clowney, and yeah, you can say, oh, well, he has 3 sacks. Guys, there wouldn't be 278 people in the house right now if it wasn't for Clowney. And you're not in here just for me. Come on. You're in here to talk Clowney. And honestly, it's a big deal. It is a big deal. And I know he doesn't put up the numbers like we all think, but we remember when he came out of college. We remember a lot of things about Clowney during the season when we played the Texans. A lot of times he was hurt. So I don't want to go that way. And again, if you come in and say, you know what, I don't think we need him, fine. I just don't want to depend my Super Bowl window on, guys that are unproven right now. Okay, there's a time for that. There's a place for that. Just not right now. Just not right now. Got Mark, man, he's wanting people to calm down. Zachary in the house, where's the Chiefs cap coming from? I don't know. Who knows where it's coming from? But you guys, apparently you're a Saints fan. Apparently you're getting some cap room out of somewhere, because I don't know how you're coming up with $10 million. It'll be interesting. It says, I feel the Titans should draft a pass rush during the draft. JS75, again, especially if you go back, I don't know. We've had Brian on the show, so shout out to Brian. But Brian basically said there wasn't really any overwhelming pass rushers where we were drafting at 29. So he thought we would take Wilson, and we did. It just pains me that Wilson doesn't look like he's going to play much this year. Maybe he can still be counted on. Zordon YouTube says Tennessee Titans, Kansas City Chiefs, Thursday, September 10th. That should have been, but the Titans unfortunately didn't play the Chiefs. Ravens Red Zone says Saints cap money is bounties. Nice. That's the second time I've heard that comment. Just trying to get some of you guys on the screen that haven't been here. Kinsey says Mackie Loomis is a cap machine. So he'll sign him by giving him the most money up front. I hope not. David Thompson says our pass rush is trash right now. We need playmakers. We need some rough riders out there. I'm not saying we're trash. I would never. We got a team that's one game away from the Super Bowl, and pretty much everybody's coming back besides Conklin and Casey and Logan Ryan. I think we sell Logan Ryan short, honestly. But at the end of the day, like, Logan Ryan's moved on. He just signed with the Giants. Casey's been traded away. Conklin signed the big deal with the Browns. I mean, can you look at the team and say we got better? Well, we definitely signed Tannehill and we signed Derrick Henry. Corey Davis, I feel like, is going to take a big step. So I'm glad some of you are finally getting on board with Corey Davis. I know it's taken a while for him, but if he can stay healthy, I do think him and A.J. Brown can terrorize this league. I think Jonnu Smith, I'm very high on him. But again, you're right. It's like, I don't know. Defensively, we're banking so much on Simmons. Is that fair? Is that fair to bank everything on him? I would feel a lot more comfortable with Clowney. I would feel comfortable if we had Casey and Simmons still in that line if we don't get Clowney. I just can't imagine. I've been very, consistent on this. I can't imagine the Titans, and I don't know the Saints situation, going the season with $24 million in cap space, make it into the playoffs, and have that $24 million just sit there. I just can't live with that as a Titans fan. Now, some of you are like, it's okay, we're going to just roll it over. I don't know. We got some Saints fans in here. Mark's definitely a Saints fan. Thanks for being here, Mark. I know it's a Titans channel, so I do respect you guys coming in and just being a part of this. But, I mean, I'm still hopeful he's signing with the Titans. I know you guys are hopeful. I know you're excited that he might be signing with the Saints. I think he can be a game changer and definitely help out both teams, so I will say that. Yeah, the Pittsburgh Steelers, if they come out and grab him, my goodness. And there was reports of him and the Ravens, but I think it was the price to go up. CW says Madden is trash. Joe says huge Titans fan from, that's where the Penguins minor league hockey team plays, right? So let's go tighten up. Awesome. Good to have you. Good to have you, man. Again, if you guys are just being here, we got almost 300. We're going to try to get 300 before we bounce out of here. But if you haven't visited the show, we do a lot of stuff on Sunday nights for the Titans. I mean, we've been here all season. AZ Sports Fan, what's up, man? No, we didn't get him, but we didn't lose him yet, man. We didn't lose him. So if you guys want to talk Cardinals, definitely go hit up AZ Sports Fan. He does great work over there, too. He says, as long as the Seahawks don't get him. Let's see. Zoran YouTube, I'm a Pittsburgh Steeler. I honestly, no disrespect, I can't wait for week 4, Steelers-Titans. I really do. I'm not going to talk trash because I know what happened last time when we beat you guys up and we started waving those terrible towels around. Remember, we were smashing them. It was not very pro for that, by the way. And then it seemed like we got cursed after that, right? We didn't make the playoffs for the longest time. Chris Johnson got hurt the first week against the Ravens in the playoff game, the wild card weekend. Or I'm sorry, the bye. We had the number 1 seed, the bye, so it would have been the divisional round. Was it because of those towels? But I think you guys are going to be good. As long as Big Ben stays healthy, I think you guys are going to be very, very good this year. Calvin Beatty, a super chat from an actual Colts fan. He says, Clowney is a bust. I'm not sure what the hype's about. Thank you so much for the super chat. We could get into this, and I know the Saints fans and the Titans fans probably don't want to at this time, but I know the Colts fans, because I'll be honest, I'm surprised there's not more of you on here, Calvin, but I'm telling you, I got into some nice words today, and it was all about Phillip Rivers. So I know you guys say he's a bust, and I'm not saying Phillip Rivers a bust at all. He's a really good player, probably make the Hall of Fame and all that. I mean, there's a good chance, I would think. He's in the running. He doesn't have the Super Bowl, so maybe that's kind of the measuring stick. But if you look at Phillip Rivers, I'm not scared of Phillip Rivers this year. Maybe I should be. You guys have mentioned we are 8-2, or we're 2-8 against Rivers. I just seen him throw the ball. So again, thank you so much for the super chat. I'll save that for another day. But Clowney a bust? I don't know. I think you guys would love him in Indianapolis, even though you went out and made a trade to bring in your guy from San Francisco, Buckner. So that's a really good move. So let's go. What else we got? Big Baby says Super Bowl predictions. I'm going Saints and Chiefs. Well, I got to go Titans and Saints, right? Got a lot of Saints fans. I think the Titans upset the Chiefs. We should have beat them last year. Did the Saints make the Super Bowl? That's the question I think you're really asking me. Man, I'm telling you, I'm very high on Minnesota. I think Dallas will be better this year. The NFC is loaded. I think the AFC's got some good teams. I think the NFC is loaded. The Seahawks, can they bounce back? I think the Bears defense is going to be pretty solid. Are the Packers going to continue to be good? The Niners are obviously elite. They're good. I think the NFC is wide open. Saints are good too. I still cannot believe you guys lost that game to the Vikings. Man, what are you guys doing? So, anyways, let's see. Durkatime says this channel is becoming a hater's honey trap. Yeah, I don't know. But it is what it is. I just want to talk football, and I'm excited about everything going on with Clowney. So that's why we're here. I mean, we got Ravens red zone in the house, everybody. That's just a treat for us to have. Cannot wait to play you guys week 11, Ravens red zone, because I think we'll be playing you again in the playoffs. Taylor Lewans, you got to get on the bus, man. Get on the bus, go down there, get somebody to pull the bus, and pick up Clowney and bring him back. That's what we got to do. Lamont says you need to be a moderator when you see all these trolls from other teams coming in. I do. And I don't know who we're going to get, but by the time I started the show tonight, this whole thing was filled up. And I mean, I apologize. I was way behind you guys. The question is, can we get 300 before we end the show, or can we get 100 likes? Usually we say we tighten up the like button and then we get to 100 or 50 likes. But, man, we're way past 50 right now. Yeah, definitely hit up those like buttons. We're just getting started here. Well, not really. We're kind of just ending. So, again, if you're kind of just joining us, Big Daddy says Dad is a Steelers fan here. We will win the Super Bowl. I don't know. I think the Titans will have something to say about that. But I do think you'll win the Ravens red zone's not going to want me to say this, but I think you will win the AFC North. I think you're going to upset the Ravens this year. That's just my honest opinion. And I know they're going to change their mind now as they put Titans over Steelers. But honestly, you guys, I think the Ravens and the Browns will be a little bit better. I know you guys didn't probably want me to say that. And the Steelers will be better as long as Big Ben's. It should be a really good division. However, the AFC South should be also a good division. Houston will probably be there. We know the Colts will be, and the Titans. So it's shaping up to be a great race. And guys, I don't know about you, but if you could hit the like button for this comment, this would be great. It's almost football season. I mean, we almost made it. And I didn't know with 2020, the way we've been going with this roller coaster, if we were ever going to get to football season. And I know you guys are all passionate football fans, and you're on this channel, you're here. If you could hit the like button just to show that you at least care about that way, I mean, then we can have these discussions and have fun talking about the season. Because right now, next Thursday night at this time, the game will be just about over between the Chiefs and the Texans. Hopefully the Texans lose, so the Titans are already in first place before the season starts. But you get the point, man. So I'm just thrilled that you guys are here. We almost pushed the 300. I don't know if it's going to happen. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. Is that a joke? Please tell me that's a joke. Please tell me that's a joke. Because you're going to get me. Because I can't check my phone right now. So you're definitely going to get me. If I didn't get your comment on the screen, I apologize. Thanks, A to Z Sports fan. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, if I didn't get to your comments, I do apologize. Check your Twitter. Look what I sent you. I don't know what you sent me. I'm scared to check, man. I'm scared to check. Did you send it to me a private message, Billy? Billy sent me. Thanks, Billy. So Billy sent me cap space, accurate cap space. So this is cool. Thanks, Billy. I really appreciate that, man. So Billy said Titans have about $21 million in cap space. Seahawks, because we did sign the kicker today, Gostkowski. Seahawks have around 10, about 9.2. And then the Saints, man, we were giving them too much credit. Saints supposedly only have 3.7 in cap space. So I'm not sure how accurate that is. Billy wouldn't send me fake information, so I'm not questioning him at all. But I don't know if there's more to the story or not with that, but we'll see. We got Chiefs fans in the house. Oh, no. Chief fans. They're probably going to want to come at it. Is fake, you guys? Oh, thank gosh. Whew. I did not want to be the air. How disappointing to be on the air right now and break the news that he's signing with the Saints on a Titans channel. I mean, that would just be heartache for me personally. I may have to just close up the shop and be done. You know, there was talks about me going to baseball here to cover the White Sox, which I think the White Sox won today. But, man, that might just be the way to go if that happened to me tonight, because that would just be the ultimate clue to just end it. Be done, Titan Upload, man. So we got a lot of you guys. Again, we're just about ready to wrap it up. Corey Jackson says, listen, he signed with the Saints 1 year, $10 million. Just can't announce it yet. So there we go. We are getting these reports. They've been coming in throughout the night. It's been a little soft lately, quietly. We haven't heard a whole lot. But I'm telling you up front, it is truly amazing that we're even having these conversations tonight, because we have not heard much from Clowney. We've heard a lot. You know, we brought Ken Moore on the show. It was a really good interview with Ken Moore, and he brought some insight to that situation. He's from Houston. He knows more of the Clowney camp. So, you know, with Clowney being from Houston and around that area, I think he trains down there. But, man, we've done all sorts of things. And it's just, you know, you've heard so many reports, the Titans. And now it looks like the Saints and all this stuff's coming into play. I don't know what to believe anymore. All I know is we're close. Like I said, we're almost to Monday. And if that happens, you know, it is what it is. The only good news with him signing with the Saints, there's one good news. That's it. One. And it's a stretch. Would be at least you get him out of the AFC and you keep him in the NFC. Like, what a train wreck that would have been if he would have signed with the Ravens, Steelers, Colts, or like the Bills or some of these other teams. So we'll have to see. But yeah, you guys need Kamara. We'll have to see how you guys feel about that. Again, I think we're going to wrap it up. Okay, let's go. It says, upload, put the rumors to rest. Did you get brought into battle? Man, I did not get brought into battle, Guskowski. I didn't. I tried. I put a video out. It didn't work out very well. But, you know, I tried. That's all you can do. At the end of the day, you guys know this. No matter what we do, all we can do is try. Philip says, if the Titans don't sign Clowney or an edge rusher, I would have to give J-Rob an offseason grade of C+. What would be your last? That's a really good question. You know, I think J-Rob, he does things by the book. He doesn't usually just take a chance all the time. I mean, I think his big project, I think we would all agree, he had two responsibilities this offseason. Sign Ryan Tannehill and do something with Derrick Henry. Me personally, there were a lot of you that said just franchise tag him and you wouldn't give him any more. I was on many heated debates on Twitter over that. But then when he signed, everybody was all excited about it, which is interesting. But I don't know. Like, you signed Tannehill, you got Henry, you got him for pretty good, decent amounts. I mean, that probably checks your C+ boxes right there. I think the big issue with the Titans is going to be with Beasley. And I don't know. I got some Falcon fans in here. I got some fans from the Saints. What do you guys think of Beasley? Like, anybody want to comment on Beasley? That would be great from a Titans point of view. Like, what are we getting with this guy? Is he even going to be able to be there? But to answer your question again, like, what grade would I give him? J-Rob, if he doesn't bring Clowney in, well, I give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt that he actually tried to create some cap space. So he went from having under 10 million to back up to 24, and now Billy said we're around 21. He's got a lot of undrafted free agents too. I think we got to take into account. Tier Tart, I mean, he was on Last Chance U, and then I know he got kicked off before the season started, but I'm still hopeful that maybe they see something in him. Or Kobe Smith, the guy we got from South Carolina. Maybe there's something in with them. So I think when you're looking at it from he did bring in the kicker. I don't want to go off on the kicker tonight, because I will go off on the kicker. And it's not Steven's fault. It's just that we did this last year with Suck Up, and many of us are getting into it again. It's like, okay, we twice last year with Suck Up. You know, he said he was healthy. And he wasn't. He wasn't either time. So either Suck Up lied to them and said he was healthy, or the Titans just don't know how to evaluate a kicker who's healthy. So if it's the second thing, and then we go in and we bring in the guy who, let's be honest, the Bucs didn't want him, and Brady played with him for his 14 years. The Bears didn't want him. They said, you know what, we will take Santos. And then now the Titans bring him in. I mean, the Patriots didn't want him either. So, I mean, but I am excited to have him. I mean, don't get me wrong, 87% kicker. Now, I know he's about 72% for 40 plus, and he didn't kick a ton of those kicks compared to some of the other kickers out there from 40 plus. But, I mean, he's pretty much automatic anything under 40. So, last year when we couldn't do anything besides 8 for 18, I think you take it. Let's see. James, are we set at the QB? Are we talking? I'm not sure what team we're talking here. But if it's for the Titans, we got Ryan Tannehill. Maybe you're talking about the backup situation. But I still think it's Trevor Siemian. I do. Mr. Titan says he thinks our defense is better than last year, or was better last year. And as of right now, I mean, these guys can grow. They can be better. But at the end of the day, I mean, Clowney makes you better. Whether you guys agree or disagree with that, he does. That's why, again, so many of you are here. Talk of Tuesday, what's going on? He says Clowney will sign with the Saints. So we've heard more of that today than I've ever heard, and that did get me a little upset. Pretty Boy Freezer, interesting name, says Vic Beasley, goated when he was healthy, underrated signing. So that gives me a little bit of hope. Maybe he can figure it out, get back to being healthy. Metal Madness says, yeah, I think Beasley is a big zero. Oh no. So the D-line scares the heck out of me. It's going to be anemic at best. Well, maybe you bring in a Snacks Harrison. I'm not sure. I don't know. My guys, Micro Mike and Dos Dion, basically, they weren't against the idea. They just said you can't bring him in to be a 3-down lineman. You got to bring him in to be a situational player. So first, second down, maybe against the rush, you bring him in. But that's okay because we got team all over the place. That's how we play. We don't just depend on one guy. That's why it's going to be interesting what Clowney wants to do. Because in our defensive scheme, I mean, he'll just be a part of the defense. Maybe the Saints are going to promise him, to basically be the whole I don't know. Yeah, if you guys could hit that like button, I'd really appreciate it. We got Mark 504 is a Falcons fan, or is he a Saints fan? That's the question of the night. Is Mark 504 a Falcons fan or a Saints fan? Big Smokey says the brown paper bag is the Jets. Oh, no. Jets Central does a great job. So I'm not going to rip the Jets because of Jets Central, but they got Avery Williamson, and I'm not really sure what they're doing over there in Jetland trading Jamal Adams, but they did. How are your defensive backs? I think our defensive backs were a little bit better this year because Malcolm Butler got hurt last year against Carolina, which was a major blow, by the way. And that's the frustrating part with Suckup because we could have brought him back for the Kansas City game, but because Suckup used one of the IRs, and I can't use Kalu because he was the one that blocked the kick to beat the Chiefs in the first matchup that we played them. That was very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. Let's see. Carl Robinson, the Saints ain't anything without Kamara. Man, let's see. About the thing, says Clowney is not signed yet, for those of you asking. And then Kelly Cole says, hold my beer. Or we're going to say root beer on this station because we are a family-friendly station. But I don't want to hold it. I want to just sign Clowney. That's what I want to do. How many of y'all were from the Super Bowl? Is Coach Vrabel? Think about it. How many podcast YouTube channels have both Mike Vrabel and Taylor Lewan on there that you can talk to? How cool is that? Awesome. Just awesome. All right, guys, I'm about out. You guys have a great night. It was fun. Again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, definitely check it out. We do try to talk Titans, obviously. We love NFL talk, but this was a lot of fun. Hey, again, we don't know where Clowney's going to go, but if he signs in 2 a.m, maybe we'll have to be on the live show again. And then I think it's going to happen in the next 24 hours. I really honestly do. I think he signs in the next 24 hours. And then we'll have to see exactly what happens. But I don't know. Saints, you guys are telling me Saints. I'm still hopeful it's the Titans. Maybe it's a mystery team. I've heard that tonight as well. Maybe it's a mystery team. You know, what would I tell? What would you do if I told you he signed with the Chiefs? The Chiefs just come out of nowhere and find this cap room. We know the Cowboys are probably out. We've heard Steelers, Ravens. We've heard Browns. We've heard Raiders. Man, it just looks like it's going to be Saints or Titans. And as of right now, 275 people in the house, all the Twitter stuff going on that we've read today looks like it's going to be the Saints. But Titan fans are basically keeping their fingers crossed. And I know even the ones that kind of aren't really on board with Clowney, I think deep down they would want to sign him. That's just my personal opinion. Of course, if you guys believe Adam Schefter's fake tweet, I guess the Saints already signed Clowney. So you guys have a great night. Again, don't forget this. This is very important. I think a lot of people overlook this. June 29th, Clowney named his 2 best teams. So if he does go to the Saints, we should not be surprised. I mean, and you can actually think about some of these rumors that were really going on during the season. Maybe it's been a long-term thing to get Clowney basically a contract. His agents were involved. They used many teams. Maybe he wanted to go to the Saints deep down. Who knows? But thanks again for being here, and we will see you Sunday nights unless something breaks. So you guys take care and tighten up. See you soon, guys.